a Jew in ancient Spain, who for Christ's name did pay with pain. Modern day Inquisition. What is the link between these crafts? Doctors and thieves, they both wear masks, overpaid. Meet magicians.
This is a supplemental log for Friday, March 25th, 2011. This is the continuing saga of all of the plotters against me that helped destroy my life. This segment is exclusively for Judge Maria Resos and the two other judges prior to her that I have known, just like I knew 3 chairmen of housing. I have known 3 chairmen of housing. And everybody would like to give a shout out to Miss Daniela. I think her YouTube name is Foxfly. She made a lot of wonderful suggestions. And I don't have to be such a wretched, melodramatic, think I'm an actor guy, other than just present the facts and the evidence as they are. I'm angry, I'm all of that, but that's for another time, another situation. This is about presenting the facts, recording it, in case something happens to me. This is the judgment and order of Judge Maria Resos. Okay? And respondent's order to show cause to restore this proceeding to the calendar, and the motion by Stephen S. Weintraub to be removed as guardian ad litem are consolidated for determination. In rendering this decision, the court considers the respondent's order to show cause, petitioner's affirmation in opposition, respondent's reply affirmation, and petitioner's surreply only. The court acknowledges receipt and did read respondent Philip Drice's ex parte submissions. However, as they were ex parte, they cannot be considered by the court as it reaches its decision. That's what the problem is, because my guardian ad litem, Mr. Stephen Weintraub's hands were tied. This is a gentleman where I absolutely abused him, humiliated him, degraded him, blasted, crapped all over him, all over the internet in front of everybody, all the way to the White House. He filed papers against the court, to the court against me. Judge Maria Resos brought a big cop in there. I'm not violent. I don't need to do anything like that. I'm a pretty educated guy. I know what to do and what my limits are. But that shenanigan, that show, that performance that was calculated and performed did accomplish my goal. I finally got him to work for me instead of working for human resources to put me out, as you've seen in the last segment. And that's how it works. you've got, this is a war of the intellectuals against poor people who don't have an education. And it can be traced to a race-based situation because the people they're dealing with are the disenfranchised that have been apartheid on a federal reservation, which is the largest Indian reservation, the most populated Indian reservation in the United States of America, which is New York City Housing Authority, with approximately 800,000 tenants. But only 500 of them are registered, and those 300 are supposed to be in line to inherit that apartment, and it's the elimination of the administrative process that leads to the federal violations of diverting funds and Title VI violations, okay, under the Civil Rights Act of 1967, which is you're doing it to black people, you're doing it to Puerto Ricans, you're doing it to the disenfranchised, you're doing it to poor people that the federal government through Congress said that they take care of. But it was through the Clinton administration, it is alleged that it was through the Clinton administration's desire to eliminate welfare that your governor was probably the premier architect who unleashed NYCHA, who dissolved any competent oversight, just like the regulators of the banks. It's been shown that the Democratic Party, or the Democrats, did orchestrate this big thing about this housing bubble. Okay? And they forced banks to make loans that they knew were going to fail. And then they want to blame somebody else for those bank failures and that all of that money that went down the tube. But it was designed to keep them in power. And when you're in power, you can cover things up. Okay? So this is what's happening, people. And in the SIR reply, let me show you here, where this guy says it's his, I'll read it, you know, you'll get it in the book and online, okay? You've got a NYCHA committing perjury in this document right here. This is the SIR reply. NYCHA commits perjury. Let me show you where. First of all, they said you got to be over 62 years old to be living there. And that I was the only one that was living in that apartment that was in that development. Now we find out that's not true. And when we find out that's not true, the judge want to give them exemptions. You can't go back. Okay? Here we go right here. Which is Carol Brookins. Carol Brookins was living there before she turned 62. Okay? They didn't want to count that one. Let me give you another one. We're going to get better. Barbara Davidson. Barbara Davidson is the sister of Margaret, who works for Councilman Comrie. And when it got this bad, Barbara Davidson right here, when it got this bad, they got her to move out of Shelton House. That's how big it is. Barbara Davidson's been living there for 30 years. She didn't take the buyout, just like my aunt didn't take the buyout. That's why we were still in that apartment. They want to make it senior development, but they were supposed to give you $15,000. Okay? Now, this is the big deal right here. This is Mr. James Edwards in apartment 6N. He's got a Michelle Guy who lives there. She was born in 1976. What is she doing living there? He was born in 1947. Now, you see, he's got a son and a daughter. A son and a daughter right there. Now, that's where the fraud comes in. Because in the paper, NYCHA reclassified him as a grandson, not a son. And the judge copied the exact same stuff. That's what I'm going to hit her with, along with the trial transcript of where NYCHA said nobody under 62 lives there. Now, here is the beauty. This is Cynthia Hill, okay, with her husband, Babako. Okay? She was born in 55, he was born in 66. But you got to understand, the lease, I've got it on video, that she said that they put him on the lease 3 years ago. That's another point of perjury for NYCHA in the settlement of the minutes or the transcript. Okay? That's how they're all busted. Just presenting the facts. Just presenting the facts. Thank you, Daniela. Thank you. Yeah. Supplemental log, November 29, 2010. This is Miss Cynthia Hill, the last real tenant association president that there was. They fixed the Khadijah Wilson fixed the vote to put Neva Harper in there. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This is the evidence that right now we've got everybody committing perjury in court because you're not a senior citizen, you live there, and your husband's name was added on to the lease, what, 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
So now, when they put me out, weren't they doing a whole lot of wrong?
Yeah.
And Neva Harper, they propped her up as tenant association president so she can help eliminate people out of that building as a form of redlining.
Yes. She has a handicap apartment. She's not handicapped.
And so does Ozia Mitchell, who was also the last tenant association president that they put there to help.
A grain of $20,000.
Oh, Cynthia Hill, former tenant association president, November 29, 2010, telling it like it is. That's my sister. And this is the one. That's right. I want my picture with her. This is the lady. This is the lady that helped me.
Right. Fight that.
Fight the fight. This is the one
right.
that kept telling me, Drice, don't let them put you out like this. Don't do this. And I went and did my work. And that's Malcolm right there. He's the one that's helping put people out.
Yes, he is.
And that's the tenant association president telling it. That's what they do here. Right here at 8909 162th Street at Shelton Houses, New York City Housing Authority. There it is right there. You heard it from the tenant association president, Cynthia Hill. Thank you, baby. All right, this is my friend. What's your name? You gotta say your name.
Marvin.
Hi, Marvin. Go ahead, make the snowball. Yeah, he's under supervision. He's here with his dad. I'm not trying to kidnap the child. It's not a kidnapping. All right. So how's your wife? Your wife okay?
Yeah, he's okay. She works.
Mother okay? She's working? Yeah, she told me she got a job as a home attendant.
Oh,
Yeah. Her mother's upstairs?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, this is Marvin. You live upstairs, right, Marvin?
Yeah.
Okay, throw the snowball. There he is. That's it. That's it. Ah, okay. You waiting on the school bus? You waiting on the school bus? You waiting? You waiting for the school bus, right? All right. All right.
She said it's really a sin to be mean and cruel. So remember, if you're untrue, angels up in heaven are looking at you. You'll never get to heaven if you break my heart. So be very careful not to make us part. You won't get to heaven if you break my
getting $1. I'm homeless. I'm broke. I'm hungry. Please, can somebody help me? Can somebody help me? I'm homeless. I used to live right across the street over there. Go ahead, show them Shelton House. Shelton, that's that building right there. The one with the scaffolding. That's it. I used to live at Shelton House. But now I'm homeless. I'm homeless. I've got no money. I got nothing to eat. Can somebody help me? Can somebody help me? Is there a God? There can't possibly be a God, or he couldn't let this happen to me. Those black politicians in America destroyed me, and no one will do a damn thing to help me. All right, we just met a nice couple. I was walking on the beach. Very interesting affair. This who wanted to tell the marshal when he came to get me to send you to give me your regards. Well, what did you do when you had all of the information that says that Niger is as crooked as the tips of the Nazi cross? Is Tuesday, January 11, 2011. I'm at the home of Mr. Curtis. He is a person. Hey, you there? Come in. Okay. Yeah, this is the whistleblower, the federal whistleblower. Okay. At the New York skyline. Go ahead. Bang! That's what I'm talking about. Woo! Whoa, whoa, whoa. We getting deep here. What's this?
Oh, just you know.
Whoa!
Part of history.
Whoa!
Part of history.
Part of history. You go ahead, brother. You go ahead.
Sad, but it's part of history.
Part of history. So this is the big Watusi Mandingo mixed super field Negro.
Yes.
All right. Well, you know, I put that whole skit together, and I finally see what it's about. That's what I'm talking about.
One of your veterans drew that.
Yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
One brother from Haiti did this?
Yes.
Outstanding. Nice place. Well, we can see you're not one of the impoverished, downtrodden, who's like one of these guys right here.
Oh, no.
See?
No.
That's Martin Luther King. That's Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, Frederick Douglass, all right here. And then this brother right here is what? Bang! Got the chains on his brain when these guys do not. Those guys are out there, and this guy is not. And that slave castle's door is busted and the key's right there. And he still ain't walking away from that.
Scared to leave.
Damn! Scared to leave. And that's my guy right here. That's my guy right here, Malcolm X. That's him right here. Well, let me see what else we got here. But, oh my, this is the one.
Yeah. That's the one you were asking me about. If that story was true about it, yes, that's it.
That's what you had given me a copy of this, and I took it to the congressman's office.
Yes.
And you met with Ida Smith. I was there. I was an eyewitness. Bang, we're going to have to send this to Mr. Juan Cuba at the White House.
Sure.
Okay, and I've got a letter from the Justice Department, and I've been trying to show people, you know, what exactly, and people of authority, because the newspapers have been, they don't want to print my story no more about the redlining scheme that I took to the congressman's office, and they did all kinds of things, calling me crazy, defamed me. The VA gave me a whole bunch of medication, which in fact I didn't need as a chemical restraint. So I got to do what I got to do, but I did speak to Mr. Juan Cuba, and it's time for me to now, and the last time I spoke to him was about getting those books to him.
Okay.
And now those books have disappeared at the congressman's office.
Wow.
So we actually send him this. But what I wanted to do right now was, if you could please take me back to what happened, for you have taken these pictures. Hold this for me. of this hangsman's noose, that was when? This was in the...
This was found, it was in the locker room at the VA.
At the, okay, the Veterans Administration what?
St. Albans, New York.
St. Albans, New York, Veterans Administration, motor pool locker room?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And how long was this hanging there?
I don't know. I walked in January 25th, 2008, and I saw it. But,
Now, January 25th, 2008, and that's when you first saw that.
correct.
And it stayed there for how long?
No, they took it down immediately after that, after the police were notified.
Oh, so you called the police after that. There was a police report.
Yes, correct.
The police never called the press on this.
No.
When you took it to the congressman's office, did they call the press? What happened when you went to Ida M. Smith after I turned you over to her?
She spoke to me a few times about it, but nothing amounted out of it. I didn't get any feedback. I didn't get any change. And they told me that the federal government says it's legal to hang them. They said it's not.
Ida Smith told you said that the federal government said it's legal to put a hangsman's
They
noose.
said that they're not illegal, but a noose is not against the law by the federal government. But a swastika is considered a felony hate crime, where a noose is not considered a hate crime.
And Ida M. Smith told you this.
Yeah, in the discussion, she was like, there was nothing she could do about it. Because
Okay. And are you aware that she ever contacted anybody at the Veterans Administration?
I believe she spoke to the union. Outside of that, I don't think it went much.
And then what happened to you?
Nothing. They offered to transfer me to Brooklyn, Manhattan, or Staten Island.
In other words, get you out of the St. Albans VA.
Yes.
Did they talk to you about who put that there? Did anybody ever ask you who put that hangsman's noose in the locker room at the Brooklyn VA? I mean at the St. Albans VA on January 25th, 2008.
No. No.
Do you know who did it?
I don't know who did it, but I know whose coat rack it was hung on. I found it was hanging on one of my coworkers.
What was the name of the person's coat
Rack it was hanging on?
Yes.
Frank Castellano.
Frank Castellano.
Correct.
What happened to Mr. Frank Castellano after you reported this?
Actually, he got a promotion from work leader to supervisor, and they wanted me to work under him after that. And when I told them that they were adding insult to injury, they told me when I told them I didn't want to work under his supervision after the incident,
Yes.
they told me that they can transfer me to Brooklyn, Staten Island, or Manhattan, which I refused to go because I like St. Albans. I've been there 20 years, and I feel that I should not be transferred.
Now, were there other instances with Mr. Castellano or other Caucasian gentlemen at the Brooklyn VA Hospital motor pool that would lead you to think that there is an embedded racist environment in that motor pool?
Yes, I would think so. because-
Elaborate,
yeah.
please.
Well, a brief incident to me happened roughly about 15 years ago. I came in there as a motor pool operator, as a motor vehicle operator, and shortly after that, two Caucasians came in there, and they were made grade 8s, and I was a grade 7. And when I brought it to their attention, saying, "How come I'm a 7 and they're 8s?" They told me when I get an ACDL license, they'll make me a grade 8. Immediately, within 2 to 3 seconds, I reached in my pocket, handed them a Class A CDL license. And they kept promising me to give me the grade, and they never did. So at the time, there were 3 tractor operators, which me being one, the first one, and then the 2 Caucasians that came after me. So it was...
You had more time in grade, more time in service than they did.
Yes, and they were made 8s when they walked in the door.
Okay.
And I was never. Here it is 17 years later, and I'm still a 7.
So it looked like you sound like somebody, or the federal government owe you some money.
Yeah, with some interest. And back
With some interest in back pay.
Yeah, 17 years.
Pay a little pain and suffering, a little humiliation and degradation,
And then this is what I'm rewarded with.
and
6
bang!
months.
That's what you know Frank Castellano did it, don't you?
I would surmise that it does belong to him.
You suspect him.
Yes.
Now, Tell me about the other guy who put a little hangman's noose in the hands of that female 6 months ago at the Brooklyn VA. You can tell it. You're a federal whistleblower. You should be protected. And we're sending this to the White House.
Well, another coworker of mine, I heard they had an incident too where somebody personally handed them a noose.
So a white guy handed a black woman a hangman's noose.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting fired.
Yes.
And now right now she's on leave with mental distress.
Correct.
Well, what happened to you? How come you ain't all shell-shocked?
I am shell-shocked. It's a challenge each and every day to go to work. Matter of fact, it's hard talking about it, even like right now. I want to stop talking about it right now.
Did you go see some people, man?
Yeah, I did.
But I can't get into your medical records, man. I'm not going to get into that with you. Now, I want you to tell me your name. Tell me your name, and give me the name. I got to have a name.
Curtis Bench.
Curtis?
Bench.
You work at the Brooklyn VA?
St. Albans.
St. Albans VA?
Correct.
And you've been there 20 years?
22 years in April.
22 years in April?
Yes.
And you're a whistleblower?
Correct.
Are you afraid something's going to happen to you?
Yeah, I am. On a day-to-day basis, just going to work with the atmosphere and just all of the stuff that goes on and transpires. Oh, don't talk to him. He's a troublemaker. And
So they've been slandering your name?
Correct.
You've been profiled?
Correct. As a troublemaker. For standing up for my rights of not wanting to see a noose in a federal facility.
And you went to your congressman's office and they blew what? On January 9th, 2011, that litigation done shut your mouth. It done shut your mouth. It done shut your mouth. But you're going to have to open up. You're going to have to talk. You're going to have to talk. I don't care what teardrops are coming down your eyes. You're going to have to talk. You're going to have to talk. Why was I pausing? Why did you cover up the redlining? Why did you cover up the diversion of federal funds? Why did you betray your race? Shut your mouth.
salty sweat drips from her breast. Her hips move, and I can feel what they're saying, swaying. They say the beast inside of me is gonna get ya, yeah.
in New York Newsday. That I went to a meeting Tom Prater invited me to. Newsday was there. He saw Dr. Tube, the Crusader, fell in love with the product. Front page, and I believe it's the household leisure section, something like that. Now, I'm also that guy that worked for Mayor Bloomberg, volunteered for his third term, even though I testified against him at the third term hearings in order to get his attention and to stop my eviction. I'm also the guy that presented the evidence to the Attorney General. Oh, I'm sorry. He's governor now. I'm also the guy who should be very angry because this is just one part of the 4 parts of documents I litigated that won me 2 landmark judgments and awards from Justice James J. Golia, New York State Supreme Court, Long Island City. Ida Smith, 3 of these are missing, plus those 2 books to Mr. Juan Cuba at the White House. That's when this whole thing about get the police to get Philip Drice started with Sophia King. Remember? You stopped that. You should have stopped yourself this time when you figured out I would expose you too, school teacher. Thanks for this one, Ida. It's intact. Won 2 landmark awards and judgments and orders, and I litigated all the way at the appellate division of New York State Supreme Court, and this is a meritorious cause of action to implead Mayor Bloomberg, the police department, the Queens District Attorney's Office, and Human Resources. And following documents will show you that. And these are the documents. That's the mayor. You see that stamp right there? That's the mayor. That's the police department, NYPD. Human Resource Administration for playing me for crazy like Ida Smith did. And New York City Housing Authority, in which I had to go back and do it to New York City Housing Authority at New York City Housing Authority because the comptroller won't accept claims against them because that is federal dollars. And you people need to understand what the law is, how it works, and what the process is. But I did hear from Tom Prater, acquiesced, Drice, when I got the reply. When I got the transcript of the trial in Supreme Court where I beat Byron Medigakis so bad before he left the courtroom, he said, I'm going to appeal. And then I taunted them and played with them. Right when they got out the courthouse, right around the fountain in Long Island City. I can. Those are trophies for as my rewards. When I do this, people, I ain't got no wife. I ain't got no kids. Ain't too many people give a damn about me. I'm an ugly guy who can accept my life, my fate as it is. I am kind. I am benevolent. I am generous. And y'all turned that against me. And those are you black staffers in the offices of black elected officials, and you guys are so rotten, you make it a freaking embarrassment to be black in America. Because you were supposed to stop this when you saw it. This is a surreply that you have a Judge Maria Rezos in Queens County Civil Court plagiarizing perjuries in the surreply index number 16218-2005. right here. Just an absolute embarrassment. This right here is the transcript of the trial. Right here. In February 2009, the General Counsel of Policy was there and he committed perjury in his transcript. That's why we have to go to federal court. This is the case that got washed out. And there you go, right there, you got to see Mayor Bloomberg's name. Bingo. All covered up and contained. This is big news. This is big news. And I depended on this guy to fix it because I put it in his hands at the St. Albans VA auditorium close to 4 or 5 years ago. That's how I ended up getting the handler, Ida Smith. These are the letters that this woman's got me writing to this guy, kissing his behind, and it was an exercise in futility. What she conducted, she was part of an orchestration to obstruct justice on the allegations. Oh, winds of change. I did a political accountability documentary that aired on TV campaigning for this guy. This is a letter asking him for a meeting. At the end of the day, we know that my attorney sent this to the Elder Abuse Unit about this lady right here that got embezzled out of $20,858 and what it was earmarked to allow her to destroy herself in order to contain it. And when you steal that much money from somebody, $20,858, and you leave them in their apartment with the gas stove on, that's a Nazi copycat crime. I've been doing my activism, and I do it very nicely, thank you, with my 2 documentaries that aired on TV. Scared every politician in town because they never seen one man do so much all by himself. That's because I'm not touching your little heifers. I put this all over town. Call your congressman and ask him, how did he cover this up? You're a black guy, you're a congressman, and you got a Native American female acting as a congressman with the kind of power with it that she rules with impunity, playing everybody's mama. Well, guess what? Fooled you, didn't I? I don't need no mama. You're embarrassed, you're humiliated. That's why you called the police and filed a false police report. I ain't no threat to you, Ida Smith. I wouldn't harm anything on you. But I have to destroy the myth of you being so honest. You have no integrity. You have no integrity. You're a liar. You're a sneak. You're like a cobra. You're that slithery. And Jason Hilliard said, you're mad because I attacked you by the preponderance of the evidence that I blasted over the internet. And your credibility destroyed leaves the congressman with no more shield, no more sword. He's now no longer invincible. That's what I want. By proving to everybody he covered this up. And they gave the white boy who did it a promotion. Ida Smith hooked that up, I swear on my mother's grave, because she spoke to the VA police that covered it up. She, with the union, she was the head boss because it was the congressman's office and his power. The myth of his power. because he's a powerless bastard that couldn't get me to stay in the ghetto so I can help these people. That's what I did with my life. You destroyed this. You killed him. You killed him. You killed him. And the evidence also says that the guy you endorsed and campaigned for, you knew. And I think now that I'm realizing it, it looks like me reporting on my activities for him to your Ida Smith and your office was illegal, Congressman Meeks. Can we talk about what else you covered up, which is the retaliation, the guy who saved that old lady and protected her and brought to how she was embezzled and everything that was done wrong to her? Did you see her in the nursing home, Congressman? But we've got the Veterans Administration washing their hands of any liability, any culpability, anything, because they handed me a deck of cards. We had them for Saddam Hussein and everybody in Iraq, remember? Well, the VA knows all about it, and they gave me a deck of cards. And it's got the name of every politician in town. State Senator Malcolm Smith, State Senator Shirley Huntley, Congressman Gregory W. Meeks, Assemblywoman Vivian Cook, Councilman Leroy Comrie, with your Rance Huff, who hates me, hates Haitians, because he was the first one to get the evidence, and he went to NYCHA as alleged, and that's how your case, NYCHA ended up coming after me, because I went to you first before I went to the Inspector General of NYCHA, and they was already waiting for me. Ambushed. I want time to prepare my book. That's why I'm leaving. I wrote a letter to the White House, and this is when all the trouble began. When I got this from the Justice Department, which is a White House referral number, where is it? WH, White House, 07142010-7. That's my White House referral number. All I ask those politicians, which I just named, look, y'all been getting this information on the internet, dropping it off to your house, I'm in your functions, you got me using me to go get this guy, Ida Smith. You're the one that told me for me to go get Malcolm Smith. And you can't pass a lie detector when you told me that he's the one that snitched on the congressman and all that stuff, and the Attorney General washed his hands of it because there were boys in the Clinton administration, there was a conflict of interest, and he sent it to the feds. And now the new Attorney General has sent me something from the Integrity Bureau. So at the end of the day, to round it off in this 15 minutes on YouTube, is that you are busted, because I'm taking your butts to court, and here your names right there. They've been sitting there for 6 months. See that guy pushing that shopping cart, Charlene? You see that, Bill? That's what they wanted me to turn into. I'm not going to turn into that. Okay? That's why I went out this country.
Forgive her, for she knows not what she does.
Comfort zone. Hey, hey! How you doing? Dr. Drice is feeling real good right about now. What do you think, huh? I just went and sold me 6. I mean, actually just 6. Big shots. Big shots. 6 of them. That's Vanessa Whitty. Comfort zone. Now, come on now. Did you really think it would benefit you, Mayor Bloomberg, when you told Marshal Edward Goddard to give me your regards when he put me out June 27, 2010? Bang! That's what I'm talking about. Congressman Meeks' office, when you called in the death threat, did you think about what you was doing? Bang! You messed up. I got y'all. I got y'all good. Shirley Huntley, orchestrating that death threat and not taking care of your son is not good for you, State Senator. Malcolm Smith, you can give Haitians all them little houses you want. And hiring a couple of them, they Creole Haitians, those my people. Thank you very much. But it ain't gonna help you. Ken messed up. I couldn't understand racism, and I don't know redlining. Bang, that's stupid. Assemblywoman Vivian Cook, how you feeling, baby? How you feeling? Need a wig? Because with that chemo, man, it takes all the hair off, from what I understand. Like, missed my dental appointment today. Gotta go get my stuff whitened up a little bit, get a nice cleaning, whitening. I got a couple of hours. Mommy's got me looking good, huh? Wow. I'm getting equality and liberty in America through Russians. You guys are so damn dumb. Don't y'all feel stupid? Excluding immigrants. Woo! What you mean? What? But guess what? You see right here? Let me show you something. You see right here? You see Liberty Plaza? See that right there? That's because they took it from the Indians, genocided their entire freaking race. There's just a couple of them left. And guess what? Some of your elected officials will hire them and they will mess up stuff for you. That's what it is. That's how that works. What do you want me to tell you? Woo! Look at that, huh? Look at that, huh? Tried to tell you guys, man. I wasn't joking and I wasn't kidding. What I'm doing to y'all right now, y'all can thank bingo, the United States Army Special Forces. 1st Battalion, 75th Infantry. You go high tech, I go low tech. You go low tech, I go high tech. I don't have to touch you. My job was to do reconnaissance on you guys and bring the evidence to the newspapers, and I just did that. I sold you down the river. Every single one of your black colored politicians in the 6th Congressional District, you guys are done. You guys are done, man. Everything. I harvested all your secrets. Ida Smith, what is the relationship between the Haitian American Veterans Association and your girlfriend? That's not a conflict of interest? Yes, it is. For her to have gotten burnt for $4,000 worth of tickets, you're going to tell me that it's Dr. Such and Such a gigolo, and I'm not going to help them get those portable housing for the people of Haiti. Bang! You can't get your land back no matter what you do. Your race will never, ever, ever be reconstituted on this North America ever again. That is good enough punishment. By somebody either telling it to you or you watching me tell it to you. What you guys did to me shouldn't be allowed. Y'all shouldn't be allowed to do that, man. That's why I'm on your case. I'm a journalist, and I kind of like my job, and I got newspapers that I take my work now because I've proven my credibility, and it took me harvesting your credibility, Ida Smith. The Hangsman's news. The elder abuse, the old lady in the nursing home. What about Margaret? Remember, you helped cover up that the New York City Human Resources was going to the post office, get mailboxes, and diverting people's checks. You stupid. You dumb. That's bad, bad, bad. And that election fraud, you and Rashida getting information from Rance Huff out of Comey's office while you working and getting my information and passing it on to people, contacting the Thompson campaign, Ida. The phone log busts you. He can't